Hi, my name is Kedar, and you're watching rptv. The Planning Committee is a vital part of Regent Park's Social Development Plan, the SDP, dedicated to making strategic recommendations to the SDP stakeholders table. Their work ensures that decisions are aligned with the priorities of the community and that all stakeholders are engaged in meaningful discussions. In this meeting, the committee members will focus on reviewing agenda proposals, discussing updates on business cases, and planning for upcoming SDP events. There will also be a discussion on the steps needed to advocate for the 2025 Regent Park budget with the city. As the committee continues to collaborate, they aim to strengthen inter-committee coordination and support the 4 working groups of the Regent Park Social Development Plan in their preparation for future stakeholders table meetings. Now let's go to the video.
Once again, we are continuing our agenda in the Planning Committee, and it is 1:12 p.m. Could you please just scroll up a little bit the page? I can't see the rest of the after the purposes. That's a review of the agenda that it has to be approved. All right. Now we have the review of the agenda. Could you please just share the agenda items with us?
Yep.
Thank you very
Okay,
much.
so our first agenda item would be to report back on the business cases previously submitted. That would be Joel and Brandy, the stakeholders table meeting, proposed budget for the meeting, and possible business case, and present and clarify the approval process. The next agenda item is remind all of the working groups to put forward their recommendation for the panel review committee. The next item is discuss the steps needed to advocate with the city for 2025 budget for Regent Park. And then the final is reminder of upcoming meetings and events.
Thank you very much, Brandy. The first item in the agenda of today is a report back on business cases which previously submitted. And I request, Brandy or Joel, if you have any information, please, go ahead and discuss this with the team. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So Joel, I believe, is not here right now, so I will take over that for this part. We did submit a request to ask about the SDFA's budget, which was available, what was left out of the $50,000, but that email has not been responded to. The only response we recently received from the city was in regards to the business case, which that was actually not submitted. It was an email was sent requesting if the business cards would be approved and if we needed to submit the business case for that expense, and that came back as declined, that we are a community group and we are not in need of business cards. So the other outstanding business cases in regards to the co-chairs honorariums, the amount of money that's left over from the 50K budget, and the money that money that will be allocated towards the stakeholders tables meeting on November, I believe the date was 17th. That has not come back with an answer, so I don't have an update for you on that. So what is still outstanding in regards to information that needs to be communicated back to the SDP from the SDFA is the co-chair's honorarium, which Joel has mentioned before, that was already approved. So it's just a matter of when will that be released. Secondly, how much of the $50,000 was spent, not just for 2024, but also 2023, and how much is remaining so that we can anticipate what is available for use at the upcoming stakeholders meeting.
Thank you very much, Brandy, and welcome, Rabia. The Joel has came back. Joel, would you like to continue? We are discussing regarding the reports back on the business cases. The Brandy has given us the overview of what has happened. If you have anything to add for the team, welcome, Waleed. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, my friends. My
Waleed.
apologies. Today is an off day. My phone is not working, so don't call me today. Call me after tomorrow. My phone is getting fixed. So.
All right, no problem. Thank you very much, Waleed. Yes, Joel, would you like, to add something regarding these reports back on the business cases? Anything new?
I'm not sure that there is anything beyond what Brandy said. Brandy, did you cover the piece about the business cards?
Correct.
Yeah. I know. I think there's nothing new to add. Yeah, we're just waiting to hear a response.
All right. Just I would like, to mention to point that I think, the next stakeholder meeting, it is on the 19th November, as much as, as long as I remember, 19, but we have to, maybe, decide about the day later on a day. And then regarding the business card, also, we had a very kind, lovely, really proposal from the girl last time that anyone needs it, she can provide for the printout. But of course, maybe definitely those that they are in a favor of the business card, they can design their business card, they can put the information, they can choose their color or maybe whatever they like, and they forward to the girl to her new business with, a store, which is situated at the Carlton Street and the Parliament exactly. I don't know the number of the store, but it is somewhere, there, and they can, join her even for the coffee and a drink, and then she will get the, printout for you. Yeah, thank you very much. Anyone else has something to add regarding these report back business cases, or we should go for the next agenda? Everybody is agree. I can see the Joel hands up. Joel, please, go ahead. And then Michael. Joel, please go ahead.
I just wanted to confirm, do we have the stakeholders table funding on the agenda? Because I can quickly address it if we don't.
The funding one, I saw it in the agenda proposal. I think, maybe in the parking lot. Am I right, Brandy? Please, make a correction if I am not.
Beg your pardon? I do apologize.
Yeah, please go ahead.
I'll address it. I'll address it in the stakeholders table piece. I think that's fine. I don't need to address it here.
Okay, to the stakeholder meetings, no problem. If anybody has something related to this business card, yes, Michael, please go ahead.
Okay, so the date, I think, for the stakeholders table was November 27th.
So there was changes. There was 3 dates that were proposed, and then the final date before we left the meeting was the 19th of November.
Sorry.
That was the final date.
No, it's not. No, I agree with Michael. It was November 27th. We agreed to.
You changed it again?
We agreed to it, yes. We confirmed the meeting date to be November 27th.
Okay, because it is on the agenda proposal on 19. It has mentioned 19. That's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So let me just, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, just I want you to be sure that the report for the business card is over, and then we can go ahead for the next agenda items.
And the only other thing is that we seem to have 2 approved business cases now, which is the co-chairs and the stakeholders table, but yet we still seem to be uncertain about actually getting the money. So there seems to be 2 levels of approval that they have to go through. And I just think we have to make sure we get through to that final level of approval so that the money actually goes out.
Great, thank you very much. Miguel, hands is up. Please go ahead, Miguel.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not able to see the screen on the call because I am mobile. But one of the questions I had at the last SD planning is resourcing funds or an individual to teach residents how to find out the use of note-taker bots, artificial intelligence, and I already provided my grounds and the reasons as to why this needs to be part of the education for residents to avoid future accusations or false accusations made against somebody who is just participating and then being false accused. Thank you.
Michael, please go ahead if you have something to say.
So I just want to say that under the topic of AI, there's more than one type of discussion or topic that we might want to cover. So just not to get there's more than one thing, and there's more than one sub-issue under that topic, which we can get to whenever we get to. I'm not rushing it. I just want to point out that there are other things besides that.
Thank you very much, Michael. And I think we put this issue on a parking lot last time, that we bring it, next time in a meeting when we have, enough time to discuss about it. Maybe we can discuss it, next time after finishing our agenda today, right? Just please, Brandy, keep in your mind and just mention it once again that it would be on the agenda item for the next time. Definitely. That
It's still there. It is still listed there. When we brought it up, we did bring it up in a meeting, and we were told that it had to be a part of a larger conversation.
Right.
So what I can do is bring that up at the next meeting and see if we can make it an agenda item.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Anything related to the business cases?
I have a quick question. So what's
I have a question. Sorry, Walid, for
ahead.
interrupting you, but I find this of great importance because there is going to be a Regent Park Safety Network meeting in next month, and I had two concerns: either for my safety, number one, and number two is to initiate this discussion because I find it in my view offensive that we have to go through this, but this is the only way to educate tenants who have no understanding of the AI applications. Listen, I have this desire to participate next month at the Regent Park Safety Network, and I had to request that the meetings are recorded because I don't feel safe participating. It has become so toxic that I need to have the recording of the meetings done moving forward. I know there is a lot of opposition to it, pushback, but when it comes to general abuses, and that kind of stuff, it shouldn't be tolerated. And the only way to combat, to fight back this type of behavior is like we do here at the planning committee. No one is insulting nobody. Nobody is calling nobody names. Nobody is doing anything offensive to nobody because everything is being recorded. So this is the same situation I'm asking you guys to understand how important it is for me to be safe at the next Regent Park Safety Network meeting in October. I mean, whenever this is scheduled. Sorry. Thank you.
Very much. I see the Walid's hands. Please go ahead, Walid.
Yeah, so Miguel, I hear you. So before we move on to the next item about the business cases, I'll just comment about your concerns with regards to participating at the safety network. Everyone has a right to feel safe and heard. And if you have a request for meetings to be recorded, so that it could at least be a disincentive for people to act in a manner that could cause harm onto others, I'll support that. But my recommendation is to work closely with Brandy and the co-chairs of the SDP for the next meeting. I know we're supposed to have discussions related to elections at the next safety network. We've had it, I believe, in all other working groups except for the safety network. There was a community building, and I know the co-chairs are going to continue for another term. I think discussions happen in the employment and economic development working group. Elena can correct me if I'm wrong with regards to like who is going to continue in that position. I believe Adonis already had conversations with the communications working group. So why don't you maybe offline have conversations with our coordinator who can support this request by collaborating with the co-chairs to find solutions. And I know it matters to you, that's why you brought it up here, but I just want to reemphasize that we all want to make sure our meeting spaces are safe for everyone.
I just also wanted to let you know, Miguel, I will be at the next, I'm facilitating the next Planning Safety Committee meeting. I have been in talks with Leonard and Hajia, and I will be present. And if you want to reach out to me offline or over the phone, just to discuss moving forward, how I can help support you feel safe. And if we need to get some assistance from Joel, we can definitely do that because you have a right to feel safe. So we can definitely discuss that.
Yes, Michael, go ahead.
There's two working groups where it's sort of unclear to me, like how people interact with the decision-making steps. It would be sort of nice to be able to know that this is not being sort of directed to co-chairs or coordinators or something, but that the decision-making process is actually like not separate from the rest of the membership of the group. And I feel like in regard to the safety group and the economic group, that it's very unclear who actually participates in the decision-making parts of the process. We know that there are meetings that everyone can participate in, but I think that some improvement, rather than sort of giving any special status to the co-chairs or anyone else, just an improvement in the openness of whatever meetings are being held would really help. And as far as recording of meetings, there's arguments on both sides, and they're both valid arguments. So I don't know that we can just say which one of those things, recording or not recording, is correct. But I feel like if the decision-making process was like smoothed over and opened up, then that decision could be made. Whereas right now, you can't really make a decision in the safety network on something like sensitive matter like that. So I feel like if we could just get a meeting where people could come to that meeting to discuss the issue of recording and come to a resolution, like not try to do that in a meeting where it's not clear whether you're making decisions or not, but just call a meeting just for the purpose of resolving that issue. Maybe that's the best we can do.
Thank you very much. And Waleed's hands is up. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so this meeting is happening next month. So here's my recommendations for planning committee. Either we agree that a meeting with the co-chairs between now and the next meeting will happen where those concerns are addressed, specifically Miguel's concerns regarding safety and recording some meetings. If that meeting can happen between now and then, I would recommend that Miguel and anyone else who's interested in submitting an agenda item to write to the co-chairs and ask for the agenda items to be considered at that meeting. And the first agenda item is recording of the meetings. And then second agenda item could be safety and conduct of members of the meeting, because I was at that safety network meeting, and I try to create a space where there was some responsibility taken for the actions, which I witnessed with my own eyes were very disrespectful, but that didn't occur. So I think there might be a need for some mediation or some space where those conversations need to take place. But regardless, the message needs to be sent out to all members that such conduct is not acceptable at meetings. So that could be the second agenda item, and then take it from there. Safety people can make decisions at the safety network. They follow the terms of reference, just like every other working group. So there are, if decisions need to be made collectively as a group, there's a process by which we can follow to either build consensus or have a vote on the matter.
Regent, please go ahead. Your hand is up.
So I really want this meeting. I agree. I haven't spoken out as forcefully as I did, but last week I did say I don't like co-chairs meeting on the side about important issues, and sometimes things never get back. And I mean, co-chairs are an important administrative tool to have. And I wouldn't, you know, they do way more work than I'm willing to do. I have declined invitations to be one, but for that reason, I'm just too old. But in any case, I don't think they should have as much power as they do. So maybe that could be discussed at the meeting as well. So I just want to add my support for this meeting to happen, and thank you, Waleed.
Thank you very much, Sarah Jane, and welcome, Denise, to the group. Thank you for joining us. Yes, Michael, go ahead.
So the meeting is next week. So I don't think that we're going to be able to get all these agenda items on that meeting. So I really don't know. Maybe a meeting called just to resolve these issues later in the month might work. I mean, otherwise we basically have to clear off the agenda for the Monday meeting and get everybody to agree to just talk about these items. I don't know that you can do that at the last minute like this.
What meeting is on Monday?
The Regent Park Safety Network meeting.
Oh, I see, okay.
Would you like to put the...
But I do agree with that the role of the co-chairs, like not being left to them to make these decisions, is also a sort of a third item that needs to be discussed whenever the safety committee gets around to that, is making sure their co-chairs meetings are open. That needs to be addressed as a third item when we get to this. But I can't see it happening on Monday unless, there's a lot of talking that happens between now and Monday to rearrange the agenda.
Okay, thank you very much, Michael. I hope the Brandy is taking a note about all those points, and I would like to add something regarding the AI that everyone has suggested that it would be on the agenda items. Why not we create a guideline for the AI that it is necessary, and make sure that these recording is just recording for the future references, and no one can misuse those recordings, as well as no one can go against another person, even in any condition or any argument or any discussion. These has just the purpose of the finding out the agenda items that it has been discussed in the meeting. So in that way, I feel the team member feel more comfortable to be recorded, and the fear of the AI, it goes away when we put that guideline, and everyone should be obedient of those guidelines. I just suggest this one that we can discuss it in the next agenda meeting. Yes, Michael, would you like to say something?
Yeah,
Well, I don't think so. Not right now.
Okay, yes, Miguel, please go ahead.
yeah, okay, so you said you want to talk to the co-chairs, but the co-chairs are not talking to me. I sent in my motion to the Regent Park Safety Network. And I've done it before in the past, by the way. 3 months ago, I brought this matter of the meeting recordings before the scandal with the AI application. Unfortunately, there are individuals in the RPSN that they claim that future repercussions will come to them from members of the community if they share information about a incident where the police or CSU is involved, like intelligence sharing information with members of the police service. It could be a reasonable ground. But I also suggested that certain segments of the meeting can be either be in public, or the individuals who have information that is particularly damaging for them, it can be shared in by phone with the police officers or the CSU officers in attendance, or TSCHC officers as well. That will solve the problem of feeling hunted down by members of the community if they share this information out with members of law enforcement. But to me, it means a lot to have safety, to feel safe, that I'm not going to be coming to a meeting and be attacked and attacked and attacked and attacked. That's not how we build community. Attacking individuals is not going to build community at all. And I'm sorry that this is the best way that we can behave ourselves going in public and being recorded. It happens already in other institutions across the city. When you go to City Hall, when you go to Police Services Board meetings, Toronto Housing Board meetings, all that you say is recorded. And that way people are cautious as to what they said when they open their mouths without offending anybody. And that's we had to do it. Unfortunately, this is tough medicine for the Regent Park Safety Network, because for the longest time, they have always claimed that members of the community are out to get them. And I don't see that at all. In my particular case, I got my 2 e-bikes stolen from my property out of the parking lot. And I have been targeted directly for my activism in Regent Park and at 220 Oak. So far that they have removed me as a tenant rep. Do you see the difference? Okay, so let's get this done. And I hope the co-chairs will reply to my email where I'm asking them simple question. Let's put this on the agenda for next week regarding the recording and the use of the AI at the Regent Park Safety Network meetings. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Miguel. Definitely, we will put it for the next item. And I see the Sarah Jane hands is up. Please go ahead, Sarah Jane.
AI is going to be huge, but I mean, I don't think we're going to be able to do that all at once. I mean, that'll take an hour at least, but because I've done a lot of reading on it. But I think we should remind us of what happened a year ago, whereas the city and its staff stormed out of our meeting because they said we were toxic and basically haven't come back. That's this meeting, not the safety meeting. So I mean, people get emotional, and that's fine. They can just retract, or I'm not big on apologies, but they can try to listen to other people and be respectful. I don't think the city stormed out because we were respectful, and Deanie still hasn't come back. So why hasn't that been dealt with? I would like to put that in the parking lot. Okay, thanks.
Thank you very much, and welcome, Joel, to the meeting.
Yeah, this will be my last comment. I know that we have an agenda. This will be my last comment for Sarah Jane to understand. You know what we lack in this community, in our groups, is conflict and resolution. I have offered conflict and resolution to many members of Regent Park, those that claim that we are a toxic community. I have asked them, you want to resolve our differences? Yes or no? Or you want to continue keep hating? The answer is, I don't want to go for mediation. I don't want to sit down with you for conflict resolution. I want to keep being myself. I want to keep hurting you. I want to keep attacking you. That's what they're saying. Thank you.
Thank you, Miguel. I hope you know this matter. It will be forwarded to the next meeting. We are not going, to discuss more about it. Brandy, could you please again share the screen, because yeah, the agenda has gone. We are going back to our agenda. We have a couple of the agenda items that I feel we have to finish it before 3 o'clock. That would be great. Are
Can you
everybody
see it?
how they no, my love. Everyone agree to move to the next item agenda, and the business cases, it has been explained by the Brandy, and of course with the Joel too. They have explained what is going on with the business cases. Few are a little bit pending, but of course they do not have the complete answer. As long as they get the complete answer, and the budget will be released for the business case of the co-chairs payment. Definitely they will provide the information to all the team members. As long as it was related to the business card, we had some really favor in the business cards. We have some against of the business cards. So still, I feel it should go a little bit, for the further discussion the next meeting too, that we get the whole favor, that what exactly we have to do. Partially myself, I am not in the favor of course, I understand we get the support from the team members, and we got the very lovely offer from the girl that I appreciate her. But as of the team, as of the committee, as of the SDP, is not possible always bother one person with a different type of the co-chairs, that, okay, I want to print this much a month. I want to print this much a month. I want to print this much a month. And when I'm thinking each person is not able to go and find out maybe the specific type of the print out paper, which is suitable for the business card, and just bother the girl to take those business cards, it's a little bit awkward to me, and we have to take the proper decision about this, business card for the co-chairs, that they are in a favor. So I strongly recommend that this business card, it would be in that item agenda for the next week too, that we can discuss exactly, and we bring out all the points. Maybe I will send, later in the week, the email that how we can go, and I will give, my suggestion. Everyone most welcome to provide, better suggestion than already they have done, which it was a great collaboration, cooperation, and kindness from the each team member. But I want to do it in the official way, that it is proper. If no one has any objection at this moment regarding this agenda item, we can go to the next agenda item, which is a stakeholder table meetings, proposed budget for the meeting possible business case, and present a clarified approval process. Who would like, to just talk about this agenda item? Please go ahead and raise your hand. Thank you. Yes, Adonis, thank you.
I think Michael was before me.
Adonis, and then Michael, please. Adonis, go ahead.
I think I heard Michael before me, so I'm
Okay.
welcome. If Michael wants, he could
Fine.
go
Thank
first.
you very much, Adonis. Okay, Michael, go ahead, and then Adonis, and then Walid. Thank you. You are here.
No, this
Go.
is just a quick point that I understand that they already approved the funding for the year. So we're not going back to the business case. We just have to give them a budget for this particular meeting. I hope that that's the case.
Thank you very much. Yes, Adonis, and then Walid.
I just want to clarify this whole subject about the business cases. So my understanding is that there was a proposal for the business cards to the city, and the city rejected that. But nevertheless, Elena, who is leading this, is going to proceed with business cards for whoever wants them. I think that's clear, and I think everybody supports that in terms of doing that. So the question is really how much and who pays for them, basically, in terms of that. So I'm happy if Elena wants to take the lead on that. with those members who want cards, and then and I think there's also a number of people who have donated printing to that as well. So I'm satisfied with the business cards. I don't think we need to bring it up again on the next agenda. That could be with through support with Brandy and talking to the co-chair. So we got so many issues. Let's take that business cards off. But I do want to find out about the business cases that were submitted, and just hear if the previous business cases that are still outstanding. I believe that's one on evaluations. And that is also on honorariums for both 2023 and 2022 or 4, but correct me if I'm wrong. If those items have been approved, and if so, can we just follow Michael's suggestion and ask for the funds from the K Club as the trustee? So if Brandy or Joel could comment on that and clarify that, that would be
Yeah,
helpful.
thank you very much, Adonis. You join us a little bit late. Already Brandy and Jewel has talked about it, but if Brandy, can you just a little bit brief, the Adonis about these business cases?
Yeah,
That's okay. If you already talked about it, it's my fault. That's fine.
Brief
No,
you.
no.
No,
I
they
can-
can brief.
Can you hear me, Adonis?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, you
perfect.
don't need to go
I-
over if you
No,
already.
I was just gonna say that we are still awaiting the only business or outstanding, the only issue that they addressed, the SDFA, was in regards to the business plan. To the business cards. Anything relating to the co-chairs, evaluations, and the funding of the 50K, including the co-chairs honorariums, that information was not yet received. We are still waiting. I believe Joel and I might have to think of another way of trying to get in touch to get that information so that we can present that to you. I do believe that's as far as I know, and I'll give Joel space to jump in and speak on that. So I didn't get a response back as of yet, and we'll let you know as soon as I do. Go ahead, Joel.
Thank you very much. Joel, would you like to say something before we go to the valley?
No, that's okay.
All right.
I mean,
Thank you very much.
we'll give you more information when we get it, and we're still trying to get it.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Valley, please go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say I'm kind of frustrated. This item has not been resolved, and it's almost November. And I'm just trying to figure out how to best how do we best communicate to city staff like that they owe an explanation on where our business cases is or how to follow through with it. Like, this is just a simple request. And I'm just trying to better appreciate if you're sending emails and then not responding to emails. Was there a request for a meeting with the trustee for the funds? Or has there been a conversation with Greg from the Boys and Girls Club about maybe the trustee playing a role in supporting this request from the planning committee? So just a question to both Brandy and Joel.
Brandy and Joel, would you like to go ahead and answer the question of the valley, please?
Oh, me? Sorry.
If you have any idea that how you can go for that question.
Not at this time.
I have an
Yes,
idea.
Michael, please go ahead, Michael.
So I would volunteer to try to put together a complete accounting of what's been spent and where the remaining money is being held and who has to be asked to approve what. But in order to do that, I think the first step would be to meet with Greg to find out what the status is of any monies that he's still holding. So, I mean, if we don't get a quick response from the city that settles this and makes it clear how money can be spent, then I think the next step is to meet with Greg, and I would volunteer to try to write up from that. But I can't do it in the abstract. There'd have to be an actual meeting with Greg to resolve as much as possible, and then to write that up so that at least we know if we're asking to find a new trustee for new money, or if we're just asking the city to approve Greg to spend money he's already holding. I think that if we can at least resolve that, then the next steps become a lot easier.
Very much for the suggestion. And definitely it has been noted. Thanks a lot. All right. Can we just go to the next agenda items? Everyone is agree? All right. The next agenda items is a stakeholder table meeting. Oh, okay. Yeah, Adonis, please go ahead. I can see your hands.
Yeah, I guess something's not resolved here. I think Michael made a suggestion. I would suggest that Michael works with Brandy and Joel around this issue if he wants to do it. That he works together with them.
Thank you for suggestion. So Brandy, would you like to say something? Can you arrange a meeting among yourself, to go ahead with the Michael suggestions?
I'll try anything to help get this matter resolved. But it's challenging, to say the least. I find myself in a position where I would love to get as much information as possible, but if I can only get so much response, there's nothing I can do. I will definitely try to pursue whatever means to get us closer to the resolve. But just know that, a lot of I'll be honest with you guys, a lot of the tensions are strained, and a lot of what the city I'm sure there was a time where everything was a little bit more collaborative. There was a time where things got done a lot quicker. And I just want everybody to kind of, just take into consideration that there are strained relationships. People don't want to discuss, people don't want to talk, and it makes it harder to do a job. And I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just merely painting a picture of how challenging it is to get someone on the phone, to get someone to respond to an email. And it's just really, really challenging and really difficult. And I am so sorry that this is where we're at. And whatever we think we can do as a committee, we got to try to figure this out, or this is the way it's going to be moving forward. And that terrifies me. And I'm appealing for ideas, suggestions. I'm praying to God at this point, because I've never seen this type of a breakdown in communication before. And there are so many intelligent people who have put so much energy and time and effort into building up this project, this program, this support for community, and it feels like it's on the verge of imploding. And I really, really want you all to know that Joel and I are doing what we can, but we are two people. And if we can't get someone to answer the phone, if we can't get someone to respond to an email, and I don't want this to be an email to the city, I want this to be a collaborative discussion, because something has to change, and it has to start here, because we're the ones that have requests that are being ignored. And I want everybody to take some time to think about that, so that we can come together, because I can send 1,000 emails, but if they're all ignored, I can't bring you back the results that you want. I don't want you frustrated. I don't want you to go without any longer than you already have. And I apologize for that. But what do you think is the best strategy to move forward, to bring people together so that we can move past from where we are today?
Please, Walid, go ahead.
Brandy, I empathize with where you're coming from. You're doing your job, you're communicating, and you're not receiving a response. And to just answer your question directly, I think we need to work with our trustee. I think you need to meet with Greg. My question prior to this was, have you met with Greg? Have you met with the Boys and Girls Club? And I haven't got a response from either you or Joel to that effect, whether you have or you have not. So at a bare minimum, I think you need to meet with the trustee. The trustee has a financial has a financial responsibility to ensure that the funds that have been trusteed are spent as per the approval of the appropriate body. And if we've already done our homework, put forward a business case, submitted to the city, and what I've heard from Joel and others in the past is that it was approved, then what's holding things up? Why are the resident leaders who are volunteering their time waiting for honoraria that should have been paid almost a year ago? Why are the business cases related to matters that relate to the SDP? Why is it still pending? Right? Why isn't there transparency on how much funds have been spent and what is available so that we could budget accordingly?
Mhm.
So this is not our fault. This is
Oh, I never said no.
this is completely, in my opinion, an abandonment of fiducial responsibilities to the SDP by those that are supposed to maintain fiducial responsibility of the SDP. And I'm really upset, to be honest. Just hearing what you're saying, how you're saying it, makes me wonder, like, what can we do different? Because there's nothing we can do different. All we can do is communicate and cooperate as much as we can. But if people fail to cooperate on the other end, they need to be held accountable. So let's work together with the trustee. Let's hold the people accountable and let's move on.
Hold on, not that.
Uh-huh.
When you say meet with the trustee, remember, I've never met him. I would like to ask for support on this issue. It's above where I just got in here. I know nothing of these issues, and I want to have a meeting with at least a few of you all to help me compose what's necessary to go to Greg. Because if I go in there and I don't ask for the right things, or I don't have all of the knowledge, it might not help us go past step one. So are you willing, Waleed, Adonis?
I'm willing to do that, but Joel has all this knowledge. Sorry, just to quickly respond to you, Brandy.
Well,
I can help you with that.
Yes.
I can help you with that
well,
task.
mhm.
Yeah, but I just want to communicate clearly. Joel has this information. Joel can sit with you, tell you exactly what business proposals were approved, and you can share that information with Greg, and Greg can respond and say, here's the status of the business proposal. And then he can take on the responsibility of working with this city's funding unit or the community development officers to get this resolved. Because I'm actually, to be honest, frustrated. I'm done with this topic. I've been asking this over and over again for months. And for just a simple request of transparency and accountability that we all need to know what the status of the 50K is. And it's not going anywhere. So I'll leave it in your court. You're the SDP coordinator, to work with our trustee at YSM to get this matter resolved.
And you don't want to have any more
hello?
involvement or put in any
Yeah.
language?
Well,
Go ahead,
So-
hello?
Yeah, Michael, please wait because the others are hand up, before you, then you can go ahead. Yeah, Brandy, just go ahead and finish your word.
Oh, I was asking Adonis, I was gonna ask, I want support, and the reason why I want support, and I agree with you, Waleed, everything you said is correct. I apologize, but what I was saying is that I wanted everybody to work on this together because I feel like putting it on one or two persons, if the response comes back and it's not done in a manner the way we want, then I just don't want to leave it to pointing fingers. So I figured if we could all take a few minutes to come together and draft this one thing that is very important, that's outstanding together, we'll all feel better about it. Go ahead, Adonis.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Brandy, I was gonna say, certainly Joel and Michael has a lot of the information, and certainly has the background on this. And I again, going back to Michael's suggestion, that I think all three of you can work together around whatever needs to be done, whether it's meeting with Greg. Certainly Michael knows Greg and Joel knows Greg.
I know,
And
Greg. I
so
would like,
So I don't think it needs a whole committee. I think it's administrative piece that needs to happen. And Michael's volunteered for it. So let's just agree that you three could, because it doesn't make sense, three different people making the same requests. It doesn't make sense. So let's work together. That committee could work together. And I don't think it needs 5 or 6 other people doing that. So it'd be good to figure out who's gonna lead this process, whether it's Joel or Brandy, but have support with Michael, and maybe all three of you can meet with Greg around this issue as one of the first steps to find out what's already out there, and then what's been approved and how we can process this and so on. So I'll leave that. Let's leave this issue between the three of you, unless
Object to that.
there's
And
a
my
problem to
hand was up
that.
before yours. My hand
Yes,
was up.
Sarah Jane, please go ahead and speak out. Please do not, interrupt, because the system is just like that. When two people they speak, there is not clear, understanding for anyone. I request, everyone. Thank you very much, Sarah Jane, for your patience. Go ahead, and then Michael, and then Jewel, and then Miguel, please. Okay, thank you.
Sorry, I thought when Adonis pushed in there, and that's not like him. In any case, my hand was up. I would like to go. I know Greg, and it's not that I'm don't have a title or anything, but I don't know what the harm is for people to sit in support of Brandy if she wants it. I don't think it's up to somebody to just name who can go. I don't have a lot of the information except the emotional information. And I think that that's what Brandy wants as well. So I'll lower, this is the third time I've volunteered for something and been trampled. Thanks.
Very much, Sarah Jane, and I understand your feeling. But just I would like to add something that it's nothing to be turned out anyone over here. But of course, when the committee want to go and discuss, they need few numbers, but we can make it open for everyone that they have the knowledge about the issue, as well as they are willing to go. We can make it open, those that they are interested to go. Definitely they can accompany if everyone comes to the agreement. I would like first Michael go, and then Jewel, and then Miguel, please. Thank you. Michael, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm just sort of basing this off of like one thing that particularly that Brandy said, which is that, we could get sort of stuck in a situation where we're asking one question and they're answering a different question, or, we don't have any, as far as I know, any difficulty working with Greg. So I just feel like that's the next step, and that if we can gather some information from him, it will help us to ask the right question to the city. And I do think I could be helpful in that regard, because I can sort of figure out when information is sort of not the information that's actually needed, and that we're actually getting the information that will help us get to the next step. And I don't think we have any difficulty with Greg. So let's do the easy step first, and then we'll be better able to go back to the city and know exactly what we're asking them to do. I think I know what we have to ask them to do, but I believe that having the information from Greg will make it easier to make a request to the city that they will not find to be confrontational or difficult. It will just seem like the obvious next step to them. But in order to make sure we craft that request properly, I think we should meet with Greg first.
Thank you very much, Michael. I have a suggestion here before I let the Jewel goes. Why not, Michael, you meet the Brandy, and just, with the Jewel, Brandy, and you just sit and draft that, proposal and request, and show to the other team member of the committee. And after approval, go ahead based on whatever you have suggested. Because I feel the Brandy also, it should feel supported, through this, as she's right. She has never met, and she doesn't have much idea that how she can, go ahead. So as you step in, I suggest you meet outside of this meeting and just clarify the letter, and then draft it, and then go ahead based on the steps. Jewel, please go ahead. Thank you.
I don't want to belabor this a heck of a lot more, but happy to meet with Michael and Brandy. I'm fine with if Sarah Jane wants to be there too. It's not a problem. I do want to say that I currently don't see that there's anything to be gained by talking to Greg, and there could be something lost because there has been a conversation with the city, a very clear email conversation, as well as verbal conversations in the planning committee where we've been told that those honoraria will be forthcoming. It is puzzling, and obviously it's very frustrating that we're not getting responses and that it's been a very long time. So that's for sure. I get where this conversation is coming from. At the same time, we have a good relationship with K Club. So let's not, my concern is that by pushing in this direction, we're kind of going around the route that we've used already, which is the proper route, which is, getting putting business cases to the city. And we could jeopardize the relationship or undermine the relationship, not jeopardize, but undermine the relationship with K Club. Although I'm happy to sit and talk outside of this meeting. I don't want to belabor it more, but I just want the group here to know that to me it's not an obvious path to take. So happy to talk more outside of this meeting, and if it makes sense to go to Greg, happy to do it. But let's do that elsewhere and not take more of this meeting time.
Joel. Miguel, you want to go ahead, because before your hand it was up, Miguel, and then Vali, please.
Okay. Brandy, I want you to know that you are not alone, that we are here to support you. And it is difficult to deal with the city SDFA. And whatever discussions you will have offline, as recommended by Joel. I would like to add that if you get support from the trustees, we can always, as SDP, speak next week. In October 23rd, there is a meeting of the Economic and Development Committee of the City of Toronto. Perhaps this will be a nice opportunity to poke John Smith and his associates as to the status of the 50K transaction. There's an item on the agenda. I would recommend you guys to look into it. It's item number 1. No, sorry, item number 2, action plan for Toronto's economy. This is the economy of Regent Park, and it matters to us. So I just want to throw that idea to the residents who are frustrated with these delays. And to end it up, I fully agree with Sarah Jane. We have been bullied, and it's because there is a culture of disrespect towards us, towards the community, because certain individuals have spoke negatively of the SDP in such a way that we are considered to be such an evil and corrupt people. And I saw that reaction when I attended the town hall meeting of Chris Moyes. I couldn't believe how our SDP efforts and work was trash, but one individual. Thank you.
Thank you, Miguel. Please, Walid, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say my final remarks is we have been reasonable. We've been waiting for months. What's unreasonable is there been no action taken by those that are responsible to do so. And my advice is to go through their trustee, but I do not see the relationship being jeopardized because we went through the proper process of connecting with the person responsible to trustee the funds at the end of the day, to be able to check with the funder to ensure that the spending happens as approved. So I hope you folks don't take too much time with this item. It's almost the end of the year. And I do not like how people have been waiting to be compensated for volunteering their time, or other business cases that have been approved have just been been out just hanging there, like no one knows what's going on, and the lack of transparency in what the balance of the 50K is. So we need to act in the best interest of the community by holding those responsible accountable, because we're all accountable to each other. I'm accountable to you, and the city and the trustee is accountable to all of us as well, just like we're accountable to them. So let's please move on this item, and I hope by the next planning committee, we actually have movement on this request. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yes, Michael.
So I just want to reassure Joel that I'm not talking about like going to Greg to sort of get him involved or put anything on his plate that he might find difficult. I just want to gather some information about the past so that when we deal with this with the city, we have more information. That's all. I'm not asking Greg to get, into any difficulties or anything like that.
That's fine. I'm fine with that.
Thank you very much, both. Everybody is agree to move to the next item, please. All right. I don't see any opposition. No hands up. Thank you very much. We put this first agenda behind, and definitely it would be the clarification the next time. And through the Michael, Joel, as well as Brandy, we will get the information if they have contacted the city and what would be the results, and they will share with everyone. Thank you very much.
Quick
Now,
question before we move on, if you don't
Yes.
mind. Did you
Yes,
want to see the language? Did you want to be CC'd? I just want you, we were talking about transparent. You don't need to see that, Adonis. Do you need to see that, Waleed? Because we all have different ideas, and I just wanted to make sure that it's one clear set of instructions so that if we follow it, hopefully we get the responses we want, or we move it up a notch. I just need to make sure.
I trust you, Brandy. I trust that the information you'll get from Joel or Michael will be sufficient. I trust.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. We can move forward now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, all. The next agenda item is a stakeholder table meetings. The date that even it has been mentioned on the 27th of the November. Everybody is agree upon? If there is any disagreement, please raise a hand, or maybe give the thumbs down. 27th of November. Is it okay with everybody? I don't see any opposition. So I think the 27th November, it would be the date for the stakeholder table meeting. So may I request the Brandy and even the other team member, as much as they can, they send the information to the community and people that they would like to participate in this stakeholder meeting, that they get the whole information.
Time? Have we selected a time, 5 p.m.?
Normally the time it is 5 p.m., right, Wally? The time it would be 5 p.m.
Yeah, registration starts at 5. The meeting starts at 5:30.
Yes, 5:30.
5 is registration. 5:30 is when we try to start.
Yeah. The Adonis has a hands up, and the Jewel, you want to just wait for a second. The Adonis talk and then go ahead. Thank you. Adonis, please.
Yeah, so there's a whole process for the stakeholders table, and maybe Joe could walk us through that process in terms of the tasks that need to be done, or whoever is going to lead that process. But I think one of the first things is, I hate to say this again, but approval of a business case regarding, I believe that the stakeholders tables have been approved. And so it's again, just adding to the past discussion, ensuring that that the funds for the upcoming stakeholders tables are there from the trustee, Greg. So add that in the conversation, and then figure out all the tasks that have to be done, such as food, such as information tables, and all the other things that need to happen.
Much. Yes, Jules, please go ahead.
Just on the timing of it, my understanding, we've usually served food at 5:30 and started to sort of gather people. But the meeting itself has usually, I believe, started either at 5:45 or 6, I can't remember. And maybe partly that depends on the agenda. But just to like, there is a time for, oh, actually, anyway, I think that one of the agenda items for this should be figuring out the order of how we do things. So let's just keep that as something that we figure. But we do need to get a save the date out. Is that why you're asking, Brandy? For
Correct.
a save the date with the time?
Correct.
So my suggestion is that we that we do have an agenda that we have to prepare, but for today, I think if we prepare a budget that we can send to the city, that would be a good use of our time today, as well as a sketch of the of how the evening will unfold. Will food be at 5:30, or will it be in between, or what? That's my suggestion.
Oh, I have a suggestion over here because the last time when I was witness and I was present at the stakeholder tables, I have noticed as soon as the food has been served, the half of people has just run. They came only for the food, they took the food and they gone. They did not come for the
Elena,
meeting.
yeah,
So,
that's my suggestion, that we talk about, let's talk about that, but let's
yes.
sort of take things in order. And
So yes, that I would like to suggest the food would be served at the end of the meeting. At least people will sit, listen, argue, discuss, and provide a suggestion, and then it would be the serve, and then bye bye tie tie. So if we can bring the meeting 1 hour ahead, means the meeting will start at 4 sharp, and then we finish it by 5:30 or 6 or so, and the 6 the food will be provided to everyone. I think that has the more logical impact, as well as the better engagement of the community. That's my suggestion. Thank you very much. If anyone else has a suggestion, Brandy, if you want to say something, please go ahead.
I'm good. Anyone else?
Yes, Miguel, please go ahead.
Yeah, I fully agree that we have to be conscious that people have dietary needs like diabetes before we implement this plan, and to be later accused oh, you're not considering my human rights. But maybe we can serve some kind of snacks that is not the real meal, so that people have a little bit in their tummies, because who knows, this meeting can last 2 hours, it could last 3 hours. So that's my suggestion, and leave the big dinner for later, right? We can serve fruit until the dinner is served, the big dinner. My only question is the status of the third co-chair. Will that person be in attendance, or how many co-chairs will be hosting this event? That is a question that I wonder if I can get an answer maybe later, or yeah. Thank you.
Very much. Miguel, anyone else would like to go? Any suggestion about the food, about the timing, about the people who are invited in that meeting? Yes, Walid, please go ahead.
Could I recommend that we work off the budget for the last stakeholders table? Could we maybe have that on the screen? Just wondering if Brandy has access to that.
Yes, Brandy, do you have access? Would you like to?
I most likely do. I would just,
Perfect.
I can reach out to Joel.
I think somebody that's used the budget, we could find it. So among us, I think Brandy needs to be shown the budget. She hasn't done anything on the stakeholders table yet.
So I could help here if people want.
Thank you, Adona.
That would be grateful. I'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah, let's just maybe start off the last budget, because I think that's something that we can
So-
work off.
The last budget, and I don't know how many hours but we had 3 childcare providers, which cost
Okay,
220.
can I request the Brandy to stop sharing and Adonis share, his screen that everyone can see. Please go ahead and share your screen, Adonis. Thank you.
I wasn't there, but I spoke to the two regulars and they said nobody was there and Ishmael was trying to get people to go up. So we should account for that in some ways.
Thank you very much for the suggestion, Sarah Jane. Definitely. the
People see my
suggestion-
screen?
Are you sharing the page? The page is not there yet. Okay, yes, here we go. Thank you very much.
Okay. So we had 3 childcare providers and they cost $225, although there wasn't any children there. We had booked the 3 childcare providers and they went to the meeting when they could. I'm not sure why it was, I think we had a longer meeting. But anyway,
Yes, I wanted to just, mention because I was there. Few of the residents, they came at the end of the meeting. Exactly, I can say, 20 minutes, just, the meeting is just almost is done. And it was just a, discussion after that. They have come at that moment and they asked for the childcare, which already everything was finished. So that's that I am proposing. We have to make a specific timing for that we start the meeting a bit early. The food, it would be served at the end. And during those timing, the childcare, it would be provided because I was there and I know even they told me, oh, there is no childcare. And I told them because the meeting almost is over, everything, it was over and they joined us very late. That's the reason. Thank you very much. Go ahead, Adonis.
okay, but I think generally it's $25 an hour for each of the childcare. My understanding for a 2-hour meeting, even if we have 3, that it shouldn't be more than $150. We catered, we had, it came out to $12 a plate for 50 meals. And then we added 100 veggie samosas for $1 a piece, and that came out to $700. For the children's food, we had a Nor pizza, I think 2 large ones, came out to $40.35. And we had 6 packages of water, some juice boxes for the kids, plates, forks, knives, $77.28. And then we had the payment for the poster design, $100. So it came out to $1,142. And I think our overall budget was that we were allocated from SDP was 1,400, I believe. Joe, correct me if I'm wrong.
Sorry, say that again?
I thought that the state that Richard had approved the budget of $1,400. Am I right?
I thought it was 1250, wasn't it?
Oh, maybe you're right, 1250. So
I thought it was for like 5,000
Yes.
for 1250 each.
Yes, you're right. So we just came out to under 1,142.63. I don't know if there was any other money spent on materials, but essentially that's our spending. And I essentially would say to make it easier, we could try to keep to this same budget, except reduce the childcare in terms of again, should generally be $150, I believe.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Go ahead, yes.
I'd say keep the same budget for childcare. We don't need to spend it. It's okay not to spend it.
Okay.
And if we need 3, if we can see ahead of time that we need 3, then we've got the money allocated. And if we don't use it, that's okay. If we need 2 childminders, when the time comes, then we get 2. And I don't know, I suppose we can cross that bridge when we get to it, but that we don't need to feel that we have to spend money that's been allocated.
So just to make matters easier, is everyone okay with just approving this budget to work off?
Yeah.
Yes, I can see the agreement of the Brandy and then
Agreed.
valid. Yes, please thumbs up or just, yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, anyone else? Jules, Sarah Jane? Okay,
Yeah.
Miguel, thank you. Rabia, Gail, and Michael, Kedar, are you agree to pass this? Yes, Thank you, Joel. Thank you, Sarah Jane. All right, I don't see any objection or opposition. Yeah, that's the budget. It has been approved for the next stakeholder tables as the same previous one. I can see the valid hands and then Jewel and then Gail. Please go ahead. Valid.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah, I just want to make sure that I know we had pizza last time.
Not-
Lord Pizza, can we try to maybe use a local caterer instead based on what's available for the stakeholders meeting this time around? I think last time
Use Nor Pizza.
I love Nor Pizza, I know, but I just want to make sure there's diversity of food. So if it's possible, to use a local caterer instead, that'd be great. I know pizza is like a low cost, expense, right? So I just want to explore that possibility. So if we want to amend the budget at a future meeting based on what we hear back from the cities, this is why it's really hard to participate, because I don't know what funds are available, right? So if we can find out what the funds, what the balance is for the stakeholders table, maybe we could improve the diversity of food options for the stakeholders table.
Jewel, go ahead.
I think, is there a copy of this budget in the SDP Google Drive somewhere? Does anybody know? Like, not like you just showed us the invoice.
Yeah.
If that, because we need that, we need a budget. It'd be easier just to use one that's been made rather than make another whole one.
I'll
so
send
if
it.
anybody-
I'll send it.
Thank
Like
you.
an Excel, a spreadsheet would be good.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Anything else?
Yeah, I
Jewel?
figured, I thought, I just can't find it, so. I mean, we could ask Ismail to point us to it too, if you can't find it, Adonis.
No, I have it, so I'll send it to you.
Thank
Great,
you.
awesome. Good. And I would also suggest we don't need to finalize our menu today. Let's use our
Yeah.
time for other stuff.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Yes, Gail, go ahead.
Oh, that was going to be a point of order, Miss Elena. I think if we are practicing consensus building, we should use that model where we say, does anyone object, right? And it helps all of us to really practice consensus building because that is the model we use at the SDP table. So I will continue to raise that because we want to learn how to use the model. The model is we're building consensus. So if anyone disagrees, please let us know what your disagreement is. If we can then say, well, okay, you disagree, how can we build consensus? Do you have an alternative proposal? That is how we want to go through consensus building. I will keep flagging it. If we need to do a session with Michael, because some of us are new, then let's do that. But I would love us to keep practicing that instead of, do you agree? Do you agree? Do you agree? Do you agree? No. Consensus building, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gail, for the suggestion, but I feel you did not hurt me. I have started with the same things that you suggested first. I said any disagreement or opposition, I did not see. Then I said, okay, I want to, get the agreement to, okay, next time I repeat, twice for those that they are in opposition. But thank you very much for the suggestion. I appreciate that.
Also, if I can answer the question around the 50K,
for sure.
city, it is the city's operating budget. They have said it is not the SDP's budget, and therefore they don't have to come back and say what they have left of that money. They've done it before, and they said, yes, they are prepared to do that. Just send them an invitation, but don't send them an invitation the same week for them to come in that week. So give them at least a week. The other thing that was said is that I think there were two proposals that were submitted, business cases. They are working through them. They said they were submitted late, and part of the issue is their system. It's not us, it's their system. They didn't want to give a date, but I was trying to push in for a date, and they said end of this year, but the latest into early January. They're very much interested in coming to the table to even explain it to, But again, they need a week to 2 weeks notice. So I know that we have our meeting on Tuesdays, and then we instruct Brandy to send them a message to come to Thursday, and they are not prepared to do that. They wanted at least that invitation a week in advance, and they're A-okay to come and discuss whatever needs to be discussed. But I want to reiterate the point again. They said the $50,000 is their operating budget, and therefore there's no obligation for them to discuss what they're doing with it, but they are okay with doing that as they've done in the past.
Very much, Gail. I appreciate. Sarah Jane, you have the hands up. Please go ahead.
Well, I'm just going to remind, I think Joel was involved with this, but none of the kids would eat the pizza because they want cheese pizza only. I mean, it was a very colorful, wonderful adult pizza, but nobody ate it. So for the kids' meals, they want cheese. That's all.
Thank you for the suggestion. I appreciate it. Will be noted. Anyone else has the okay and the yes? Thank you, Joe, for the thumbs up. Anyone, any discussion? Yes, Adonis, please go ahead.
So if this, my understanding is the budget has been agreed for and we could go ahead with putting this together for a business case to send to the city for the stakeholders table, just capping that off.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Anyone else that would like to discuss about this? Yes, Walid, go ahead.
Can we make an amendment to the business for the pizza to be changed to an allotment of funds for local caterer instead? Adonis, I'm sorry, man. I just don't want to make sure people get just pizza at events. Like let's do something different.
Maybe
The pizza's for the kids.
Pizza is for the kids. Okay. Okay.
That's what it wasn't pizza for anyone else.
Everybody.
It's just for the
Okay.
kids and we hired local. So let's not get into the details of this. It's the final
Okay.
budget.
I'm convinced then I'm in support of the business proposal.
And
That's
yes, there will be cheese, Sarah Jane, if we do pizza again.
I
you.
see the Gail hand. Please go ahead. Yeah.
No, I was just going to say, yeah, we found that for cheese, for pizza for kids, that the local caterers cannot do that. Like the cost is just too high. It's too much for them. So they prefer not to do that. So yeah, just bear that in mind.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Anyone else would like you to go ahead? Brandy, can I request you again share your screen because we do not have the agenda on the screen yet. Thank you. All right. So the stakeholder table meeting, it has been approved date, and then the proposal for the budget meeting, it's possible for the business case and represent, clarify the approval process, present the clarify the approval process. All right. Yes, 27. Thank you very much, Brandy. 2024. And the budget has been discussed. Anyone else would like? Okay, yes. The Adonis, hands is up. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so we haven't discussed the content, but I believe that the content is essentially the strategic planning, that there be report back to the stakeholders tables about what the proposed changes will be to the SDP. And that's a presentation by the Strategic Planning Committee. And that's the content for the discussions.
Anyone else would like to add something? I don't see any hands up. So there is no opposition to just put this agenda for the strategic planning and then go ahead for the next agenda items. If any opposition, please raise the hand and just speak out. Any opposition, please? I'm repeating that everybody can hear. Any opposition? I don't see any opposition. Okay, that's Jewel. Would you like to go ahead? Please go ahead.
So I do like Gail's point about, a way to move through a consensus. I would make a separate point in this case. Again, I don't think it's too early to land on the agenda. We don't need to. So I think Adonis has made a suggestion for the way that the agenda could be handled. And I think it may well be what makes sense. Yeah. We can land on that as we get closer in. It's good for us all to ballpark and think about it. But I think we can also all just go away and come back next time we talk about the agenda. Maybe we'll have other ideas for agenda. So I guess the point I'm making, if it makes sense, Elena, I don't think we actually need to make a consensus decision at the moment. We're just putting a few ideas around and we'll land more firmly, maybe in about 3 weeks or so, 3 to 4 weeks.
So would you like to put this item agenda in the parking lot at this moment and then bring it back after 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's part of the way that we plan
Okay.
stakeholders table meetings. We will have the agenda will be clear and will be laid out and will be agreed on.
Perfect. Then we will put this one in the parking lot, and I request, Brandy to just mention this one at the parking lot and then bring these agenda items within the next 2-3 weeks, and discuss
Is
it
it okay if
again.
if I make a response to that, if it's okay, folks?
Yeah,
It's not, it
please.
doesn't even have to be in the parking lot. Like, that's for new agenda items. This is it's a standard recurring agenda item for when we plan stakeholders tables. So it's part of the process, and it doesn't need a special separate mention.
All right, perfect. Thank you. Gail and then Adonis. Gail, please go ahead.
Oh, maybe it's not needed now because we were talking about, I guess you're saying we don't need to talk about the agenda now, right? Is that what I'm hearing from you, Joel?
I can respond.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
My point simply was that it's okay if people want to put ideas out. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
My concern was that we don't need to actually make a formal decision at this point. We can just
Oh,
take
okay.
those ideas and think about them.
Well, two things I'll say is I know that the city's coming in with some listening sessions, so I don't know if what that will mean for our agenda, but I know that is one thing that is coming. I guess whatever report we're doing in terms of the strategic planning, I guess maybe that's another agenda item. Okay.
Thank you very much. Adonis, please go ahead.
Yeah, so to Joe's point, yes, definitely whatever has been presented has to come to the planning committee first for approval. So whatever ideas that come, whether that's from the strategic planning committee or from anybody else, it does have to go through this table first before it's presented. So just to let you know.
All right, thank you very much. So based on this suggestion, I have understood that this one you can just suggest, and then later on it can be discussed in the other meetings, and no need to be really be firm right now, and then decide about the things. So we put it as it is, and then we later on discuss it. So can we move to another agenda items? We have almost less than the 20 minutes. I think we have a good time to start another agenda items. So the agenda items is a reminder to all working groups to put forward their recommendation for a panel review committee. Who would like to discuss? Yes, Jewel, please go ahead.
Actually, there is a piece about the stakeholders that I think it would be good to decide today, because Brandy needs it, I think. Well, maybe she could get it next week, I guess. But it's the stuff that like we need the content necessary for a save the date. And I think that content is, we have the date, but I do think we need the time. And I think it's good to have a gathering time and a meeting start time for people to know. So I would suggest, at least let's see if we can have a decision on that, is my suggestion. And
Any suggestion
I know
from
we've
Lisa?
tried different models, so maybe we can't, but I'd say it's worth a try. We need something for that save the date. Maybe if not this week, then next week.
All right. I can see the suggestion from Walid, community living room, 6 to 8 p.m. But what day, Walid? Would you like to speak
The
up,
date
please?
we've already decided. It's November 27th.
Yeah.
When is the November 27th? So I'd like to propose that we start our meeting at 6, but we advertise registration at 5:30. And that will give us about an hour to set up. Starts at 5:30. This is what we usually go with as a good time.
Yeah, but I'm not sure that you heard, my suggestion, before. Maybe you just step out for a minute. that I request to be started a bit early, around 4 o'clock, as normally when we serve the food, we lose the half of the participants and we don't want to lose them. So if we start the meeting a bit early and then serve the food somewhere around 6 o'clock, at least we get the more participation and engagement from the residents and other members. And normally the food, it would be served in most of meetings at the end of the meetings, not at the beginning of the meetings, which is some sort of a distraction. This is just a suggestion, but of course we can go for other suggestion too. Jewel has a hand up and the girl. Jewel, please go ahead.
I'm okay with that, with just saying those times. I think, well, sorry, except I think we probably want to say a light meal will be provided. I would think that fits for a save the date, or maybe we can leave it out. And then saying that we could play around with the times. Although I think, sorry, Elena, you're also suggesting a completely different time, so I'm open to that conversation too. But I think a save the date. I think we should consider whether we have the meal as part of that, like mentioning the meal.
Thank you very much. Gail, please go ahead.
So a couple things you could do here is divide the meal throughout the event. So you come in, maybe you are getting water, or you're getting, the samosa, or what, if that's right. Then as you are doing an activity at tables, maybe you bring the food to folks so that you don't have to stop midway. That's one thing. I think we should move away from giving people food at the end. I don't see that has worked. I think you have Rabia, who's on the line. She does a lot of these kinds of programs and can give us good ideas as to the best way to go about it. Because at the end of the day, I think we talk about food insecurity and we say that this is why we're doing it. And of course, people are coming from work or other things at the end of the day. And so having a meal is certainly helpful. Using a registration where you've registered, so here's your meal ticket, like there's those kinds of things that we could think about, but we could certainly, get some input from those who do this on a regular, and that may help.
Thank you, Miguel, and then Walid, please go ahead, Miguel.
I did mention that we should be serving snacks for those with dietary restrictions, and then have the big meal at the end. That will be a doable solution, in my opinion, but I understand your frustration, Elena. Many times we have had this situation where people come, they eat, and they leave without taking any knowledge, without taking any information, without giving any positive feedback. So as a lesson, this could be a one way to address the dietary restrictions of people. Having a snack, fruit, cut little pieces of snacks, and then by the end you will be able to get your full meal. Thank you.
Thank you, Miguel. Walid, please go ahead.
Yeah, I like your suggestion, but sadly, we've tried to have meetings earlier. The issue is we have parents that have to pick up their kids from school at 3 o'clock, and they need to go home, either secure childcare for themselves or bring them to the meeting for childcare. And then, like, if we do it at 4 o'clock, I worry our participation will actually go down. So that's why I am proposing that we meet at 6, allow people to register between 5:30 to 6, have light refreshment and dinner, and end no later than 8. 8 o'clock, people have to go home. Like that's the timing that we've used in the past and has brought in a lot of participation. I think on our last one or the one prior, we had like over 70 residents. So I think that's a pretty good turnout. So I don't want to change the time because if we do, we might actually compromise participation. So I just want to propose that we do advertise it as registration starts at 5:30, and our goal is to start at 6. Sometimes we start earlier, depending on how registration goes. And we do need the times confirmed right now, because if you're asking people to save the date and show up, they need to know what time.
Gail, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. My other suggestion as well would have been location. I know we keep using the spectrum. You know, one of the things we've been advocating as a full table is using all spaces, formal and informal. And so there are other spaces in the community, and I think we should really think about using those as well. It's just, that's my suggestion.
Thank you very much, Gail. Any other suggestion about the timing? I have no problem with timing, because timing, it definitely should go based on the comfort of the residents and those that they are participating. Even for myself also may be good, but I have suggested that timing because I was present in the previous stakeholder meeting and I was a witness. So always we have to learn from those problems and the challenges that we are facing, and we have to understand that how we can improve it. So if you feel the 6 to 8, it would be much better. That, you know, go ahead for that. I have no any objection for the timing, but we would like to hear from everyone that what timing it would be good. Please just write it on the chat or maybe speak out, raise the hand. I don't see any hand at this moment. Anybody against the 6 to 8? Raise the hand. Any opposition? I don't see any opposition. No one raised the hand to speak out. Are you agree for the 6 to 8 stakeholder table, November 27th? The timing is okay with everyone? No
Wow.
opposition? Still, I don't see.
Just a clarification, Elena,
Yes,
you mean
please.
5:30 gathering, registration, and then 6 to 8 meeting? Is that what you're saying?
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. 5:30, the registration would be started. And then 6 o'clock, the meeting. Maximum by 8, everything would be finished and everything is out. That's it.
So when does the meal start?
The meal, it will be provided definitely at the starting. They have suggested because the people are hungry. We cannot, you know, keep them till the end. And of course, 8 o'clock would be very late, even for myself too. So it would be at the starting, which even I don't feel a good idea as I saw it, but that's fine with me. If you feel that way, go for it. I have no any problem.
Well, I don't think we made a decision. I think there were some suggestions, right? So is it at the start? Is it throughout? Is it
Okay,
if you register, you get a ticket, and if you
yes.
didn't register, you can wait to the end? There's all those suggestions were out there.
Yeah, we are going one step at a time. You know, the first is the timing. Timing is okay with everyone? That's 6 to 8. Okay. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. No disagreement. I don't hear any opposition. Okay, the
Can I just
timing.
clarify, ask for clarity? 5:30 registration, correct?
Yes, 5:30 registration and 6 o'clock meeting with the start till 8 o'clock, everything it would be finished maximum.
And the
Okay.
meal is served while the meeting is going on.
We are reaching to that. Okay, just the timing. Timing 5:30 registration, 6 o'clock meeting till 8 o'clock. Okay, 1 and 2 and 3.
No,
Thank
wait a
you
second.
very much.
Where's the meal? I think I would like to know.
Yes, we are going to discuss it, Sarah Jane. Let's just make a timing. And right now, after the fixing a time, we are going to discuss about the food, what time exactly would be served. Thank you. 5:30 registration, 6 o'clock to 8 on November 27th. The timing is fixed. Please, Brandy, take a note. Thank you very much. Now I see the Miguel hands. Please, Miguel, go ahead.
Yes, I agree with the timing suggestions. However, I would like to abstain my vote on the issue of the food, the serving, or anything related to it, because you can never make people happier in this community. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Miguel. All right, the timing, it has been fixed. Brandy, if you can mention the timing on an agenda. Thank you very much, that everyone knows. It starts at 5:30 sharp for the registration. 6 to 8, it would be the meeting. Now we are going to discuss about what time exactly food would be served and what would be in the food. I just remind everyone, only we have 5 minutes left, and I have to, jump in another meeting within the 5 minutes. If you can decide about what exactly time for the food and what it would be the steps for the food. Walid, go ahead, please. Thank you.
Yeah, I think we can talk about food next time. I just want to confirm the location because if it's a save the date flyer, people need to know where the event is happening in addition to the time. They don't need to necessarily know the details of the food. So I want to propose that we do it at Daniel Spectrum at the community living room. And if folks feel very strongly against that, then if they could propose what alternative and follow through with the booking request, that'd be greatly appreciated.
Much valid. Yes. Any other suggestion for the place? Yes, Sarah Jane, go ahead.
Well, I've convened the borrower grandparent at Daniel Spectrum only now for about 4 years, but it's very narrow. And I'm wondering, it's intimate, but it's very narrow for people to get around, and it's a big, long thing. There's no wide thing. I'm wondering whether the community center would be better. I'm just throwing that out.
Perfect. Okay, one suggestion from Sarah Jane, the community center, it would be good. And I can see even the Gail as well as the Miguel suggested the UN Pavilion. This is another option that we have. I'm not sure that how we can go for those. If it is available, we have to find out about the timing and if there is any cost, involved. I'm not sure. Anyone has any idea about the UN Pavilion as well as the community center, or maybe the Daniel Spectrum community room, living room? Any suggestion from anyone?
We can get an answer back from the pavilion, I'm sure, immediately. Same for community center. Again, if we are pushed for time, then we can go with what we know is quick. But again, I think we have to diversify ourselves. We have to be seen in other spaces. We have to, if we are talking about use of space, we have to showcase how spaces are being used. So that is my why.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I love the idea. And it's great. Yes, only we have, 2 minutes, and I suggest, we put this discussion for the next week. Valid, if you just, yeah. Thank you very much, Valid.
Yeah.
Because there is not much time, and we have the different suggestions for the space. So I would like to keep this discussion for the next week as an immediate discussion, as a first discussion, that we can discuss about the place and finalize the place for getting the news to all the community regarding the November stakeholder tables.
We should compare the cost before we meet next week, so we know what we're talking about.
Yes, we will discuss about all the items, which it is related to the stakeholder tables. Only we have agreed on a timing as well as the date at this moment. Yes, Miguel, do you have anything? If you can just be quick, it would be perfect. Go ahead.
I agree with Dixon Hall, YSN, UN Pavilion, Daniel Spectrum, but until we conclude the CBOC mediation with TCAC, I would prefer that we stay away from TCAC spaces. We still have a mediation to go through. We still have not heard anything at all, and they are playing dumb with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, Walid, go ahead.
Yeah, I think if we need to make a decision between spaces, we need to be aware of the space costs. So please be aware that Daniel Spectrum, I think there's no cost for the community living room. That's free. I think the UN Pavilion could also be free. If I think Alex is in support, usually doesn't charge groups. My only concern with the UN Pavilion is accessibility. You have to take there's an elevator and stairs, but what I like about the Daniel Spectrum locations, like people who are passing down Dundas are able to see the meeting, and if they're resident, they can just, who are, very interested or curious, they can join the meeting to find out more about the SDP. So I don't want to lose that piece. But if folks feel very strongly about the UN Pavilion, I can live with it. The other spaces might have costs. I don't know about the community center. Do they charge usually? Does anyone know? Has anyone booked
No,
this?
I don't think so. But you
No,
have
I
to, they often have some issue with how you book it and whatever, but once you get through their bureaucracy, I don't think they charge.
Okay, so that's good. So the community center being another location, we can also do the same. Like people will come by and participate. But yeah, let's discuss it and approve it
Yeah.
next week if we have to. At least we'll at least have a month notice for the meeting. So I should have enough time. Thank you, Elena. And great job facilitating the meeting.
Vale, thanks a lot. There is another suggestion from the Joel, that the Dixon Hall Youth Center, if Brandy can just mention these, Dixon Hall Youth Center too, that we discuss, all these, and we find out about the cost, if it is involved and if it is not. I would like to request who would like to go as a facilitator for the next meeting, that we can fix it right now, please, before we wind up our meeting. Who would like to go? Kedar, Joel, I can get, Miguel, Valid.
Sorry, Gail mentioned that she would be interested in doing it. Gail?
Yes, Gail, please go ahead. Thank you very much, Gail, for your really nice and kind suggestion. So the next facilitator would be the Gail. Thank you
Oh,
very
I was
much.
waiting on to see if she would accept. Gail, is she there?
We will
Yes.
chat, Brandy.
Thank you very much, Gail.
Okay.
Anyone who is interested to act as a facilitator, please do not hesitate to reach out to Brandy, give your name. The Brandy put your name in a next agenda, and you will be facilitator. Thank you very much all. It was fantastic.
Good job.
And timing with all of you. Have a great afternoon and evening. Bye bye all. Thank you.
Take care. Take care.
Thanks. Yeah.
Good job,
Okay.
Elena. Good job.
Good
Thank
job.
you.
There is a
Thank
list of facilitators with dates beside it. I guess that's no longer valid. I don't know.
No, that's actually a good reminder, Sarah Jane. So Brandy, in the past, we had folks rotate
Yep.
different meeting times, so maybe we could revisit that. Thanks, Sarah
Yep.
Jane.
Yeah, I looked at
Absolutely.
my name, and Gail's on it too. So, yeah, we should take a look at that because it's there and it's all assigned.
Yep. We're just updating it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, bye,
Thank
everyone.
you. All right, take care.
Bye.
See you. Bye.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And please follow us on our social media platform. For more information, you can check out our website.